Welcome back to Bugs Bunny Lost in Time. So, time for hey, what's up, Doc?
Yeah.
Alright. Cutscene.
Pretty sure that is a clip taken right from an episode to, well, that screenshot.
The thumbnail, yeah. All the thumbnails are taken from old cartoons, yes.
Except for the prehistoric one.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah.
This here's mine. Come back here, you mangy mutineering rabbit.
And yeah, like we've said, that's actually archive audio of Mel Blanc. My guess, I actually don't remember, like, okay, I know that, yeah, no, I know that he voiced Sam in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but that was literally like the last time.
No, actually, that was Sam's new actor.
Was it?
That.
Mel Blanc's last official role in film was the Jetsons movie.
Okay, then. In that case...
Also,
okay, so they already had a voice actor for Sam. Couldn't they just get him to be in this game?
That was, yeah, fun fact, that actor was Joe Alaskey.
Oh, it was Joe. Oh, okay. Joey's already in this game. He plays Daffy. Why not just have him play Sam as well?
saving costs? I don't know.
I guess if I am to be fair, and mind you, this is mainly me going off of his performance in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but whereas Joe, whoever in this game can do an Elmer Fudd impression, Joe Alaskey's Yosemite Sam sounds drastically different from Mel Blanc's.
Alright.
I don't remember. Okay, his one line from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it didn't sound too different to me. I mean, yeah, it's not Mel, but it sounded close enough, I thought.
I recall it sounding drastically different. Granted, you know, it's admittedly one isolated line, so maybe I need to go have a look at it again.
Sure.
But my best guess is, like, for the context of it, they figured, hey, you know, we can probably do better with Mel Blanc's. That, or it was just a way to cut costs as well, assuming this was a pay-by-the-line sort of methodology.
Mm-hmm, I guess so.
Also, you fucked up the perspective, Pedro.
Did I?
And I remember this level used to be a nightmare for
Oh,
me.
no,
as a
yeah.
kid.
I'm usually good at these kinds of games, but
No, it's that you thought from the perspective.
Yeah.
You went from the other way instead of
it's the perspective that fucked me up. Yeah.
No, but here's the thing that I also wanted to say. This is where the game, okay, on a relative scale, because it still gives you infinite lives and very frequent checkpoints, but it removes the kiddie gloves.
Basically,
Because,
yeah.
Again, this is the third level you unlock, so the one that is mandatory. So until this point, you had, one straightforward level, and one boss, very little boss level. This is where it starts to have in each hub at least one, if not two, major levels with different stages, at least 4 or 5, that goes on and on and on and on. That's the reason why the checkpoints allow you to save.
I will definitely agree that this one, this is one of my least liked stages because it goes on longer than it needs to. I will agree with that. I'm fine with most of the others though.
I'm just gonna say this, it's the chemical plant zone effect, essentially. Like, this level feels like it would be much better stuck near the end. And I know what you first-timers may be thinking. What? This stage looks gentle. Trust me, kid or adult, this level is a bit frustrating. First of all, you are surrounded completely by water. Step so much as a toe in there, that's it. You're done, essentially. Now, again, it may seem it's not that bad, but remember you have a relatively limited range of motion. Don't think you can crash Bandicoot your way that easily, since, well, Bugs ain't exactly that versatile with his motion, essentially.
No.
Oh, don't forget the new items introduced out of nowhere here, the Acme crates. So if you actually miss even one, you have to replay the whole level, to get all of them.
That is true.
Oh yeah,
the
the
Acme boxes are the equivalent of Mario 64's red coins. That's probably what the expression they took. But yeah, like Tails. To be fair, Mario 64 does this too. In Mario 64, if you leave the level with only 7 of the red coins, when you get into level, you have to once again collect all the red coins again. So to be fair, this was not a thing of this game. This was a common thing in platformers of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I will
Also,
say,
I noticed that it happened to you too, but the thing that fucks you over with the crimes is that the hitbox is not associated with the sound effect. There's clearly a delay, and as a result, you get hit when you don't feel like you should.
oh my god, look at this. Again, who thought, oh yeah, we need to have you hit the target multiple
By the
times.
way, if you stay in the oyster, it actually hits you when it closes down.
It feels like
yeah.
it feels like, again, this was back in the early days of 3D gaming, and developers clearly weren't thinking as far, because again, from a gameplay basic standpoint, it's just wasting the player's time. It's like I said, there are various reasons why this level is one of the ones that I love. The boss battle at the end, obviously, the boss battle against Sam is great. The level itself, though, I mean, I don't hate it necessarily, but yeah, this is one of those levels that I'm just usually glad to be done with after I'm done with it.
Again, it's like with Chemical Plant Zone in Sonic 2. The second main stage is, well, a difficulty stalagmite.
I personally don't really mind.
Oh, okay. Maybe not stalagmite, but definitely a difficulty spike, it feels.
In comparison to Emerald Hill, yeah, but then again, so was Marble Zone in Sonic 1, so I guess it's...
I wouldn't say Marble Zone was so much tougher as it was just about okay, you had your fun going fast, now you've got to slow down for platforming. Since Sonic 1 was back when they were still deciding, hey, do we want to focus on being speedy, or do we want to try and be like Mario, essentially?
Vital. Saigon.
We just murdered someone, by the way.
Yeah, actually, that particular pirate, I thought when I played the game and for a long time, that it was just an original character. Apparently, it is based on a guy that showed up in a cartoon about finding gold in Klondike. I think the guy is called like Blake Jacques Shellac or something.
Yeah, probably. I'm not.
If I recall correctly,
I don't
think
remember,
his design,
but go on.
I recall his design also being used for some of the Arabian shorts too.
Ha.
There you go. Yeah, that's another thing. Sometimes it's mandatory, but at least in all levels, if there is an occasion where an object falls down, you can bait an enemy into falling down on it, having it falling down on them.
In classic Looney Tune fashion.
Oh yeah, I don't think I properly explained.
Holes are pretty much warp points.
The rabbit holes serve as warp points, as well as you can also go underground, as we saw in the Elmer Fudd boss battle.
Yep. But, okay, the biggest frustration to me for this as a level is just that it has that unfortunate effect that being such a difficulty spike, it can sometimes be where a young player will find their end come to a run if they cannot put up with the frustrations of the level. I feel like that's always the biggest disservice that can happen, is just when... And not even smoke against the devs, but unfortunately, it can sometimes leave people missing out on the better parts of the game.
It's like the Daikatana effect. You have, in the early game, a level that clearly doesn't represent really much, the actual quality of the rest of the product. So, of course, a lot of first impressions will be, affected by it.
Yeah, it's like Sonic Advance 3 starting with Route 99, even though Sunset Hill clearly should have been the first stage.
Also, these crabs are like slicers, now that you think about it.
Well, Pedro, considering, I wonder if at that point people are starting to get tired of those kind of stages being the starting one, so a city level to start off with is.
Oh yeah. Oh no!
More about the actual level design.
The actual level design, like the aesthetics, and and remember this was back in 2003, before Green Hill Fatigue.
2004.
Was it 4? Okay. The point is, it was way before Green Hill Fatigue was a thing, so it would have been perfectly fine with them putting Sunset Hill as the first, because like I like to say, the level design is much more beginner friendly. It feels like it was designed as the first stage, even though, and then something happened.
I mean, from what you guys told me, it's not really the first time that it happened to the Sonic franchise.
No.
Shoot, now that you mention it, now with Shadow Generations, again, if you count Shadow Generations as its own game, which it pretty much is, I guess we finally have a Sonic game that doesn't have Green Hill Zone in it.
Well, technically we've had that before.
I think Java specifically refers to Shadow's campaign.
No, I know that, but like, he's saying, oh, we have a Sonic game without Green Hill. Well, we've had some without Green Hill.
That is true, but like, well, these days, that's the whole thing people are on about. Like, honestly, I don't hate Green Hill Zone. In fact, I don't even hate the idea of returning zones. Like, just use them in the way Ian Flynn does, establishing continuity as opposed to just clearly wanting to make money.
There you go.
I'm trying to... Oh yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog. There we go. Shadow the Hedgehog didn't have Green Hill.
Well, yeah, but considering how many times you had to replay with Star Ponies, I think in one game to achieve this same effect.
Irrelevant. We were talking about Green Hill.
Also, I should specify. I was talking about post generations, essentially. Since before that point, people were fine with that. Like Green Hill fatigue.
It's been a long time since I forgot. Did Lost World,
Yes,
started?
It literally starts with it. It's not called Green Hill.
It wasn't Green Hill, but
it might as well be, Jova. It might as well be.
Yeah,
Also,
pretty much. It's Green Hill in the sky, basically. Windy Hill Zone.
It has the same Batniks, has the exact same aesthetics. Like, it's literally Green Hill, they just needed something else.
Also, I guess this is a good point to actually mention. Can we talk about the fact that Warner Bros. Has done a particularly bad job in preserving these titles?
Oh, no.
I know that the copyright is a bit all over the place because this is Infogrames and therefore it should be partly owned by, current Atari as a result, even though they have established the Infogrames brand apparently. But,
really?
Yeah. But again, at least at the time we're recording, I hope I can be wrong by the time it gets published. But, the PlayStation version is not on any backward compatibility program. There was no port. The PC version is not even on GOG. I think that Disney actually managed to, be much better in that regard, because even games that might not be on Steam at least are on GOG, thanks to, again, Poland. But these, almost every single Looney Tunes game has not been really re-released in some capacity.
No.
And for what? Warner Bros. The only major things that have happened recently are that sport game we saw in the Nintendo Direct, which was kind of bad looking, to be honest, and the contribution crossovers like Multiverses, which yes are fine, but outside of not having a new game, the fans are nostalgic for stuff like this or Sheepdog and Wolf. So this will kind of be the perfect time to
trust me.
This.
I agree. Especially now that ever since Pete Brongart, the creator of Uncle Grandpa, took over the Looney Tunes and he brought the franchise back to its 1940s roots. Now the current incarnation, and we have the new movie coming out directed by Pete himself even. Right now the current incarnation of Looney Tunes, the one at the time of this recording, is based on the originals. So yeah, now is the perfect time to bring back this game because the kids of today growing up with these new shorts are used to how the Looney Tunes are in their original incarnations. So it could be interesting. Go on.
I know that we're not really used to actually porting games like these.
See, look at this. I have to take care of all of these. Again, this is just this is not fun. This is just wasting the player's time.
I mean, and again, I don't even inherently hate the stage. A pirate level, sign me up, but it's just the stuff you do does not feel as fun as stuff you do in other
I also
levels.
would make an argument that the music in this particular level becomes, a bit too repetitive, when you start listening to it for, the 13th time.
It's probably because I feel like, and granted, maybe this is just my personal opinion, but this level definitely feels like it drags the most.
Dibs.
Is BRB. I know that they're not used
yes.
to... Oh, God.
Alright, Dibs, since you also played this game back in the day, what are your thoughts on this level?
When I said I played the game, it was a long time ago. I don't remember doing bad on it, because it's like I said, 3D games are have always been more my thing compared to 2D ones. Like 2D ones, I swear, every time I play them, I can never judge how far I'm jumping properly and I die.
Alright, so what are your memories? What memories do you have of this game?
Mainly the music and some of the cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was a while ago.
And there you go. That's the end of the first section of the level.
Yeah, you thought you were done? That was just the first section.
Again, it's this level. Jesus.
And I argue this one is actually even worse.
If the level was cut
Oh.
down in half of how long it is, it would be fine. But yeah, the level didn't need to be this long.
It's like, why not save these segments? But yes, you see those sharks? They will be trouble for you.
Alright, so the gimmick here is he throws bombs at you and you just throw the bombs back at him. It's simple. Like so.
There you go.
Which causes more barrels to come about.
Alright, so the gimmick here as well, there's sharks in the water. What you have to do, you have to throw the bone into the water so that the shark will go get the bone. And he won't bite you while you're jumping through these barrels.
If you want to get
Weird
to what the
since-
the joke drove is that commonly, you know, the sharks are referred to as dogfishes.
Yeah.
So that's the joke.
So, yeah, not to mention, I mean, bone to the I mean, this is Looney Tunes for fuck's sake, so the logic is not really required here. So,
Well, they're usually their own internal bout of logic, but I get what you mean.
alright. Yeah, that's basically it. No, it's because, no, it's like Theo said, yeah, now would be a really great time to...
Again, I know that it's not really their major expertise. They usually tend to do instead shooters, you know, boomer shooters. But I wouldn't mind Night Dive to give it a try to actually put a conversion because you know they're technically owned by current Atari. You know, yeah, that's another thing. The perspective when it comes to jumping from the poles is completely fucked up.
In regards to... Sorry.
No, I'm basically done. Again, if there has to be... I'm pretty confident that the PC version should not be required that much work to actually convert it, you know. But again, Night Dive usually are the ones that are able to do the job, and, you know, they're, like I said, they're currently owned by a current Atari, so they would be the ideal one. But, you know, if I have to be honest, I'd rather have been focusing on, you know, actual games that have been, you know, not being released for a long time, like the actual boomer shooters that are actually entering now.
The shark, I get the feeling the shark went a bit bananas there.
Shark is broken, but yeah, no, in terms of dividing up the levels, like, that's a thing. Like, again, you technically haven't unlocked them yet, but as we know, there are multiple levels in each of these zones, essentially. Like,
Hubs.
why was Shark Island not its own stage?
Yeah, it feels like they came up with, especially considering how there's only 3 major levels. Like for example, this game doesn't, like this particular hub world, the Pirateers, doesn't even have one of the secret stages that you unlock with golden carrots. So I'm wondering if the Pirateers was left unfinished. And
I forgot.
But I'm wondering if this level was originally going to be 3 separate levels, but because of there was some rushing in the production, they had to basically take the 3 unfinished levels and mash them together into one level.
I forgot. Is the ship battle something that you unlock with clocks and not with the golden carrots?
I'm sorry, Theo. What level you said?
The battle between the 2 ships.
No, that's clocks.
Okay.
No, the Pirateers doesn't have a secret level.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I know that one kind of sort of counts, but you know, I forgot if it did.
The secret level. Okay, well, I will explain while we're at it. The secret levels are actually stand out because they're not taking. They serve as separate from the main storyline in the sense that, for example, the secret, to give you guys an idea, the secret level in the Stone Age is inspired by the rabbit duck hunting trilogy.
Classic.
Right, and you don't fight Stone Age Elmer Fudd. You fight the actual proper Elmer Fudd from the shorts. Like, it's completely separate from the Stone Age. So the secret levels in this game are purely entirely separate from the storyline and are just based on the actual shorts, like with the actual proper modern versions of the characters rather than the Stone Age versions or something like that.
To just having an excuse to recreate adaptations of those specific episodes.
Exactly. We'll be able to see this.
And it's also noted that those are the only major... Okay, now there's technically also another level in the medieval times, where those are the major instances where you run into Daffy, actually, because, you know, despite everything, he's not really a big factor in this game. He's gonna be for the sequel, but yeah.
Yeah, Daffy's in the secret level of the Stone Age, and like Theo said, he's in quite a lot of the... Yeah, I think all of them. I think he's, if I'm correct, of the medieval years, because they use this Robin Hood incarnation. Taken from
Surprisingly, not his Scarlet Pumpernickel version.
no,
Which was such a missed opportunity.
and yeah, I think that's it. He's not in the 1930s, and he's not in Dimension
Yeah,
X.
no, he's not.
so-
He's not even in Dimension X as Duck Dodgers. Another missed
Yeah,
opportunity.
it was. Okay, I'm actually genuinely wondering if this game was rushed at some point, because yeah, it does feel.
I mean, Infogrames was releasing a fuck ton of licensed games back then. I'm not too surprised. And again, this was still early in the production of the team. If you look at their at their schedule, remember Jersey Devil, like I said, was one of their early games, and it was basically them attempting to do this for me. Because if you again, Cadicros did talk about it when he compared, stuff like this game, Jersey Devil, and the Grinch. They really just used the same kind of structure for character animations and cycles. So they just adopted the kind of skeleton and moved on to the different properties.
But yeah,
Interesting, because Daffy does get his own lines in this game too for his stage, the skiing level.
yeah, he does. Well, again, he's voiced by Joe Alaska. Okay, it makes sense. He's the voice of Plucky Duck, and so might as well have him do. Whereas Billy continues to do. If I remember correctly, Billy West did Bugs in Tiny Toons. If I remember correctly, I'll have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, no, but like, no, definitely. And another thing that Warner Brothers also should be trying to do as well is properly get back to remastering more of the shorts that the original shorts. I mean, that they haven't remastered yet. Especially considering how, again, you still have your subscription service. You want to add more content to it. There's a bunch of shorts that you haven't remastered yet. I know that there's a lot. I know that you don't want to remaster the Censored 11, but okay. If for those who don't know what the Censored 11 shorts are, Looney Tunes fans have nicknamed a select 11 shorts as the Censored 11 because those are shorts that are exceptionally racist, even by the standards of the time. To give you an idea, just to give you,
Is the Wacky Land one included in those?
the what? Sorry.
Porky Pig in Wacky Land.
No.
That one does feature some level of caricature, but I know that in years.
But nowhere near.
I'm a fan favorite.
But nowhere near to the extent of the Censored 11 joke. Sorry, Theo, because the Censored 11 is basically 1940s cartoon racism turned up to the max. So much so that Warner Bros. Has basically spent a good part of like 40 plus years pretending those shorts don't exist. Basically. And again, I'm not going to for you the whole spiel. Just copy paste what Whoopi Goldberg always says about these things. Those shorts should still be released because it's important. If you don't know the spiel, like you can go on YouTube and search Whoopi Goldberg cartoons, Looney Tunes. She explains why these shorts should be preserved, basically.
But again, that's mostly just for animation. Again, when it comes to video games in general, Warner Bros. I don't even think it really tried in recent times to even okay, the closest we got was the Batman Return to Arkham collection, and we know how that turned out. But otherwise, they don't even seem to wanting to attempt the whole preservation of old titles.
No.
Which is,
okay. To be fair, that is more so due to the craphead who's currently running things, Zaslav, who just
even before he showed up, it didn't happen. Remember, Jova? Again, Mortal Kombat is a prime example, but even beyond that, Warner Bros. Owns the entire Midway catalog, and what have we done with it? Barely anything. Mad Muscle talked about that.
Yeah. Which is, I'm so surprised that Zaslav even allowed Pete to make the new movie that's coming up.
Probably through gritted teeth.
Probably.
I think the entire thing with Zaslav is unpredictable. Reminder that that it allowed Shyamalan to make his new movie Triumph, despite the fact that it did barely anything at the box office and nobody cared.
Yeah. No, it's but.
And of course, Joker for the Ado, as Blips can testify.
Okay.
Yeah,
that one's obvious why they did it. Joker made $1 billion, so we gotta get a sequel for that money. Such a shame that the movie is so bad that it's bombing even worse than the Marvels did. Holy Christ! And actually, no. It made less than Morbius, the movie infamous for making little money at the box office.
Indeed.
Pedro decided he'd had enough of this and jumped into the water.
Yes.
Yes, this
Also-
level is still going.
Not just that, I think Pedro has missed basically the shortcut that allows you to return back. The 1 year,
Yeah.
wheel.
But yeah, he found the shortcut. He died. And,
My point is that the wheel that he found, there was a hole that he could have jumped in, and if I recall correctly, teleports you to the other checkpoint.
It does, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one. I think you're about to use it. No.
We'll see. I genuinely forgot about that, honestly, because this is my first time playing the game in a good amount of years. Yeah, no, it's exactly as you guys said. Like, I'm honestly wondering if the new movie is gonna be the end of Pete's era of Looney Tunes. I hope it isn't, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how the movie does, I guess.
Warner Brothers isn't distributing that one.
Oh, okay. That explains it. That explains
yeah,
it.
Well, remember, they kind of wanted to have the same approach with Coyote versus Acme, but then they threw up, a stink about it, basically saying that, nobody wanted to accept the offer what we said, and then the company's told, yeah, because you asked for a fuck ton of money.
I swear, Zaslav just seems to have it out for Coyote versus Acme. Like, now granted,
I do genuinely
Warner-
wonder if the movie itself has some sneaky social commentary about, company owners being assholes or something.
Well, given that it is a movie about coyotes suing a giant corporation,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
But
the
even
Acme Corporation is
still,
probably going to be serving as a parallel for Warner's. I mean, it's probably it.
I'm just gonna say it. The Warner Brothers has had this cycle of being bought by someone because they are in the toilet of debt, essentially, and then that person in charge screws things up so that it just gets worse and worse. Like, it seemed like things were actually going good with AT&T with how generous they were putting all their stuff on HBO Max, only for that to turn out to actually be some dumb scheme of theirs to try and make, I forget if it was supposed to be their own network service or something that people would subscribe to.
Something like that, yeah.
Anyway, shock of all shocks, releasing movies simultaneously with their theater release dates and on HBO Max at the same time did not make them oodles of dollars.
Yeah, what happened to the physics of a bone?
I have no fucking clue.
Pedro, Looney Tunes, no logic, remember?
I guess so. I guess I should learn to keep my mouth shut.
But yeah, no, I mean, look, I won't act like things weren't great. I'm not going to act like things were all great before Zaslav came about, but I think we can all agree that things absolutely went to utter dire wreckage when Zaslav came aboard.
Well, I mean, even then, there's no guarantee that any of it will get better or worse whenever Zaslav decides to go.
Oh no, definitely, because we've had throughout the last 7 years or so, we've had like how many changes in leadership at Warner Brothers in so close together, and yet each one is worse than the last. It seems.
I will say this though, you would have to try to be worse than Zaslav, since Zaslav went above and beyond and pretty much
Considering the time we live in, Jova, don't jinx it.
Well, what's the?
yeah.
I can think of a way. They literally pull what happened with the Fantastic Four '90s movie. They just make films and not release them.
I mean, that's what
That's
already
literally
happening.
what
That's
they
already
have
happening.
been doing.
The Batgirl
movie. What I mean is with all their movies.
Okay, so basically we're not going to make any profit, and we're going to die and
No. They'll tax right off all of them.
Okay, the Uberbowl approach.
All things considered, Wibs, eventually the board of directors are going to take issue with that. Like,
They cannot just sustain themselves with a discovery, shows about how I want to sell this house to this very rich white couple.
It's...
Or the 40, 90, 50, whatever fiancés days universe that apparently they want to shill out.
I don't even think AEW will hold them on long term.
See, here's the thing. What Zaslav did was diabolical, but in a way calculated. Like, we all know what happened to the Batgirl movie, essentially.
Yeah.
It pretty much was killed posthumously doesn't even really attach to that. It was killed pretty much within the womb, essentially, because that thing was practically done, essentially. Now, word has come out that apparently that movie was going to do a lot of dumb stuff, essentially. So that was probably a movie that, the investors were uncertain enough, as it were, that Zaslav could get away with canning it, essentially. Now, the Coyote versus Acme thing, that thing feels like it's just done out of spite. Now, Zaslav has made it no secret he don't think highly of animation, essentially. And the Looney Tunes are all about that animation. And ever since Space Jam 2, I guess, didn't, shoot high to the moon, he probably figured, well, we can write them out as, people who will absolutely not make money. Never mind the fact that maybe Space Jam 2 just wasn't that good.
Nah, you think?
But I digress.
Better than the first movie.
The Coyote versus Acme,
Go on.
Another time, please.
Yes, another time. To keep things on track here, it's like Zaslav, though. Zaslav feels like he has been treating Coyote versus Acme as his white whale to personally take down, since Coyote versus Acme is the unique case where technically that movie is not dead, but it's in one heck of a... I'm not even sure if I can say purgatory, since it seems like it has a shot, but it feels like a case of back and forth. It's just that, Coyote versus Acme was the case where the United States government actually got involved with how... Okay, no, way too many tax write-offs, because here's the thing. When you tax write-off all your projects, eventually studios feel like they don't want to work with you. And some who help try to make a movie will feel cheated out of the money and resources that they put into the movie.
Let me put it this way, again, right now, Denis Villeneuve and, I forgot, the director of The Batman, they're basically the one carrying the company on their backs.
Yeah.
Them and potentially James
Also-
Gunn, since the DCU is
We'll
looking
have
like
to
it's
see.
gonna
That really
Holy
is what I'm
hope.
thinking of.
Thank you.
To bring this back to the Looney Tunes, since I actually just got reminded, since we're in a pirate level and everything, ships and shit. Reminds me one of my favorite shorts of the new ones by Pete and his team is one where basically Bugs Bunny ate all of the carrots at Elmer's farm, and Elmer actually tied up Bugs in a chair, and Bugs literally wakes up tied up in a chair, right? And he wakes up by Elmer splashing water on him, and I'm not kidding you. It's like straight out of the 40s. He goes, "Pa! Pa! Abandoned ship! It's the Germans!" Oh, it's you.
So basically, it's 40s Looney Tunes without the racism.
Basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was Pete's idea. I forgot the woman from Warner Bros. That he pitched it to. Pete's pitch after the previous was Wabbit, right? The previous show, Wabbit, right? After
I never got around to seeing Wabbit.
I don't know. The point is, when Wabbit ended, Pete went to Warner Bros. Executive, I forgot her name, and pitched the idea. Okay, I want to return the Looney Tunes to their roots, go back to the original format, the original type shorts. In fact, one thing that I particularly like that Pete was very, very clear, I want every short to be made according to its director, meaning the directors are given free creative reign to make their shorts according to their style. There's no set style that the shorts have to be made of. No, each director brings his own style to the characters. Again, if you remember, that's how the original directors did things. If you compare Bob Clampett's Daffy Duck to Chuck Jones's Daffy Duck, they're night and day. Chuck Jones usually depicted Daffy as the now iconic, greedy, neurotic personality, whereas Bob Clampett, the creator of Daffy Duck, he's the one who put the Daffy in his name, because if you'll notice, Chuck Jones's Daffy Duck is nowhere near as if at all, usually.
The ironic thing about the original Daffy Duck is that he can be seen in some ways as the prototype for Bugs, since not many people may know this, but Daffy was there before Bugs Bunny.
Yeah,
he was.
Back in action.
He was actually.
Which honestly does add an interesting layer to his rivalry with Bugs in that regard. If you consider that they're taking that into mind. Like, who knows
All right.
what they want to-
We're
Alright,
done.
you think we're done? No, you still have a boss fight.
But the boss battle itself is good. So
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. The boss fight is at the end of the stage instead of being its own stage. What the heck?
well, to be fair, a good there's it's not the only one. Like some of them are like this.
Again, I'm just glad that this run shows that, you know, I wasn't the only one, you know, fucking up with the camera. You know, it just is sometimes not working.
Now, I could just imagine the Looney Tunes shorts went with how Pedro's playing this game. The shorts one lasted 10 seconds because Bugs would just randomly jump into lakes or oceans,
Yes.
and that's the end.
So the basic gimmick is jump from platform to platform because Sam is sinking them with his cannonballs. Eventually, Sam will get tired of you dodging them, and he throws a TNT barrel. What you do is you pick it up and you throw it right back at him, like so.
I remember the delay of, you know, him picking up the barrel and tossing it was slightly longer. I wonder if it's a thing where, you know, the different frame rate of the American version,
That's because, yes.
you know, does it, or it's a case of the emulation speeds up loading time.
No, I don't think it's that. Like, you're used to the PAL version. I'm playing the game the way it was intended, so it feels much better.
I mean, it's also uncompressed, as I can see, so there's that too. Yeah, even the
do
boss
like
battle
the
goes on for a while, you know, instead of having the rule of three that basically Mario established, you know, I think in terms of, you know, all the times you have to do like 5 or 6 times.
Anyway, like, I do find it weird, though, that they're not consistent with the boss being its own stage, though.
Yeah.
Like, again, it was like that with Elmer Fudd, and, you know, again, I'm kind of someone who tends to prefer my boss fights being as replayable as possible, and while I like the boss fight, having to replay the stage just to do the boss fight each time is not exactly my idea of the best time of this
I mean,
game.
at least here you're fighting actually the character selected for, you know, the era. While it's not, you know, a recurring thing, at least for the medieval ages, you don't get to fight the villain selected there.
Yeah.
It's there just as a minor obstacle. There we go.
And we got a clock for
And
it.
yeah, as I noted, you missed one during the first section.
That's okay. I'll get it later.
Yeah,
You know, all things considered, Sam got off pretty easy. Usually, an episode like this would end with his whole ship getting sunk.
Well, that's for another level.
Well, I got all the golden carrots at least. There you go. That's it.
Back to the pirate years.
Good, but you left some stuff behind you.
Yeah, this is the equivalent.
And
of
we opened up
Crash,
the first level of the 1930s.
the big
Gee,
bad
I
patrol.
wonder who the bad guys of that era will be.
Well done, but you missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
that's
exactly that feel.
That's basically it. Yes. Tune in next time, everybody, where we check out the 1930s.
Yeah.
Yeah.